With no electricity. Right when we were getting ready to start the show, all of the electricity went off, and Muscatine Power and Water says it's bigger than just City Hall. So we are on battery backup. So we're going to talk fast and hope we get through everything because we have a lot of information tonight. First of all, I would like to just share last week, thank you to everyone who held down the fort. I was on vacation with my family, and Roger and I went up to Wisconsin, and we went to the Mississippi River Museum in Dubuque. I don't know if you've ever been to that, but I stopped and snapped a couple of pictures because they were of really nice quotes that I thought really impacted us. And the first one is from Charles Kuralt, "The Rivers of America. Rivers run through our history and folklore and link us as a people. They nourish and refresh us and provide a home for dazzling varieties of fish and wildlife and trees and plants of every sort. We are a nation rich in rivers." I just loved that. And the next one I wanted to share, I didn't get who wrote this, but I know it's a whole display that they have on Rivers Remade, and they're talking about how the rivers are changed now from what they used to be, and I thought it was quite impactful and really words for us to remember. "We have remade our rivers to serve our needs, whether it is to carry goods, irrigate fields, generate electric power, or carry our waste. At first, we changed our homes and our boats to make them work with the rivers. Then we changed our rivers to make them work for us. We pulled snags, dynamited rapids, built canals, and reversed the flow of rivers. We built dams, introduced new species, and sometimes made rivers into sewers. Some of our actions had consequences. Damming rivers blocks fish from spawning, and introducing new species threatens other species. Levees separate a river from its floodplain, and removing wetlands causes bigger floods downstream. Today we strive for balance so that rivers are both the way they should be, the way they used to be, and are still useful to us as well." I just thought those were really good words for us to all remember as we enjoy living right on the Mississippi River and all of the wonderful things that come along with that. Next, I just wanted to share a couple quick pictures. Before we went on vacation, I was able to host the Muscatine pageant girls. Every year, Judy Connor, after the pageant's over, brings Little Miss Muscatine and Little Miss Sunshine and Miss Preteen, and they all come, and I get to spend a nice time on a Friday afternoon with the queens, and it was a really good time, and I want to thank them for doing that for us each year. And I would like to get going with our guests because we don't know how long our batteries are going to last. We're going to try to talk loud. Hope you can hear us. Hope you can see us. But please help me welcome Lynn Kirby. She is a school teacher with the Muscatine Community School District, and also she works with the Muscatine, Japan Youth Student Exchange Program. Welcome, Lynn.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for coming. So the Japanese guests are coming
This week.
What day will they fly in?
They're gonna fly in Thursday, and then they'll actually meet their host families on Friday.
Okay.
And then that's when our activities really start to pick up for all of them.
I know they're coming here and a couple of different places on Friday, and I'll get to meet with them. Do you have how many days are they actually here?
They're here 8 days,
Okay.
but they actually just, in Muscatine, we'll do all day Thursday and Friday, and then they'll stay with their families in Muscatine over the weekend, and then after that we kind of pop all over Iowa, so we go up to Waterloo, we go to the Quad Cities, we go back to Muscatine, so we're kind of all over those last couple days, so it goes really fast.
So you're not actually a program of the school, you're your own 501c3 through the Community Foundation?
Yes, that's correct. So our funds are based out of there, but the school district does still help us out with transportation.
Oh, sure.
They're really good to work with for facilities and everything. They're very accommodating.
So your main goal then, your mission, is to have the Japanese students come here and have our students go to Japan and create that exchange of learning.
Yep, our goal is just so that the kids here can see different cultures and get exposed, and it's also really affordable for families.
Sure.
And they're only paying the cost of a flight versus if they were to do something else, they might have to do housing and activities. So it really kind of levels the playing field for everyone to be able to see that other culture, but to also host that culture in your home here.
And it's only with Japan right now?
Yes.
Okay. So you were explaining to me earlier, our students go there 1 year and then they come here the next?
Yeah.
How does that work with where they stay then?
So it's a 2-year cycle. This is going to be our first year in that cycle.
Uh-huh.
So all of the kids and the teachers that are chaperones come here and they stay local in Muscatine homes.
Okay.
And then the kids from Muscatine that host them get to go and stay in their home the following summer. So next summer we're going to Japan and we'll stay with those same guests that were here this summer.
So that one English student and one Japan student really get to bond and...
Yep, and they communicate over email right now, and then a lot of them will use social media to keep in touch over that year gap.
How fun.
Yes.
So I suppose this time of year you get really busy. Do you have stuff you have to work on all year long though, building up to this?
Yep, so we fundraise for everything. We do trivia nights, we do pizza ranch, we do really everything. So we fundraise over those 2 years, and then we also have to build the itinerary and make those phone calls and get everything organized, so we are very busy the whole time.
Oh, I bet. How many staff do you have then? How many that actually work on the project?
So it's myself and Heather Clark, who's also a teacher in the school district, and she's at the high school, so between the two of us we kind of divide the work, and I usually organize most of it, and Heather's better with the contacts and the money and the emails and everything, so we kind of split the work as needed.
And then do you have a board and all of that or an advisory group, or it's just the two of you?
It's just the two of us.
Oh, wow. How did you get started?
Actually, Heather has been doing this for, I think, 6 years. And then the person that did it with her before wanted to step down, so I kind of just filled that role.
Sure.
And we've been talking with Sister City some, and they've been helping us find different placements, so we're slowly getting more people to know about the program and help support us and host families.
How long has it been, the program, how long has it been established?
Since the early 90s.
Wow.
So it's been around a long time.
Oh, goodness. That is a lot. So do you guys keep track and statistics, like how many students you've worked with over this time? It's got to be a ton.
So they always send between 15 and 20.
Every year?
Yep, every other year. So there's quite a few. Our group's usually a little bit smaller, but we have the room that we could grow more and take up to 15 to 20 every year. We have 14 going next summer, so when the next cycle starts, we can always bump that up based on what we're able to host and what they send to us.
Sure. So when would students who wanted to get involved in the program, how are they chosen?
So the school district will send out an email and post on their Facebook page, so all parents have various ways that they could see it.
Okay.
They just come to an information night, and if it's something that'll work for their family, then they can do it. So we really,
Wow.
we haven't had to turn anyone away.
Oh, that's great.
So it's really nice.
Oh, sure. So what is some of the things that the students say that they love about this?
So when we go to Japan, they have their city's firework festival, and I think that's always the favorite. Their fireworks are a lot different than ours.
Oh,
So
really?
they actually theme everything to music. So a company sponsors one song, and then they theme the fireworks to that song, and it's about 3 hours long.
Oh, goodness.
And it's, think of our grand finale for 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
That's really different for them. We go to Mount Fuji. The kids, usually the host families in Japan, will buy traditional clothing for the firework festival.
Oh.
So the girls get to wear the yukatas with the wooden shoes, and they have the bows, and I mean, they get all dressed up, and sometimes the host families want to do their makeup in the traditional style, so it's really fun to see.
What an experience.
It's awesome.
How many times have you gotten to go?
This is only my 3rd year,
Okay.
so I'm newer to this than Heather, but
How fun. It must be just exciting every time, though.
yeah, it's different every time. So when I went last year, they took us to their amusement park, and they've never done that before since they started the
really?
program. So they're always adding in new things. Same here. I mean, we do different things,
Sure.
and new things are in town. So
Oh, how exciting. Well, how can everyday citizens get involved in this? What can they do? Where can they help with funds? Can they volunteer? I mean, what kind of things do you need help with?
So we are always open for if you want to do a fundraiser, or even if you just want to attend one. We're always looking for host families, specifically for adults.
Oh.
So when the chaperones come to Iowa,
Sure.
then we usually have to find 4 to 6 adults to host them.
Sure,
And
because they wouldn't stay in the student homes.
Right, and it's kind of intimidating if you've never hosted before, but really, you only have to do things with them throughout the day on Saturday and Sunday, otherwise they're with us on our program Monday through Friday.
So it's not like you have to entertain them for
Right,
8
so you
days.
can still do your normal job Monday through Friday,
Okay.
8 to 5, whatever your schedule is, but
And do they speak English?
yeah, so in Japan, the students start learning English in 4th or 5th grade.
Okay.
So they're not fluent, but they can communicate enough where they can navigate their way around, and all of them will have Google Translate downloaded. So
Sure.
technology always
Oh,
helps
yes,
us.
it does. So if you were to express interest in hosting someone in your home, you wouldn't have to worry that they couldn't speak English. They would be able to communicate with you.
Right, and if it is a concern, you could tell us, and we'll make sure you get the one that has the most experience speaking English.
Because I could see it being a little nervous, like, well, how could I, tell them where the bathroom is and
Yep, I was the exact same way, and we'll send emails just right before they come saying, here's some differences to point out, like their showers in Japan are totally different than ours here.
Oh, really?
Yes, like for example, they don't use shower curtains, so just you have to kind of show them you close the shower curtain, then turn the water on.
Okay.
So it's really different
Sure.
when you go there, but it's such a great experience.
Oh, I bet. I think it's so wonderful for our students to be able to experience these kinds of things with other cultures and realize that, especially with technology, but even before, we're all just, one big neighborhood. We might be a little bit different with our showers and everything else, but really, just to build those bonds of friendship and relationships it's so powerful for all of us.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you so much for what you're doing. I think the students are looking forward to a really big treat starting.
Yes.
So they're going to be flying here soon. How long of a flight is it?
It was between 10 and 12 hours depending on the direction, and it's about a 13-hour time difference, so they're exhausted when they get here.
Oh, I bet. So they're just going to go sleep for a while, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Any parting things? Anything? Should we be on the lookout to seeing them around town? Or?
Oh, we'll be all day Friday. We'll be walking downtown and going
Alright.
to different shops, so you'll probably see us.
Yeah, so if anybody sees the students walking around, give them a wave and welcome them to Muscatine. Thank you so much, Lynn.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Well, as we're getting ready to transition to our next guest, I would just like to ask you to save the date, although the date is like going to be here. This is our last show of July of 2019. Today's July 30th, and August 4th, which happens to be Saturday, is Jeff Barnhart's going to be at the Merrill. It's going to be a great opportunity for everybody to hear the music and experience all of the entertainment. You can get flowers, or I'm sorry, you can get tickets right now at Flowers on the Avenue, or you can get them at the door for $20. And you should be seeing a flyer there. Next, I wanted to ask you to just please save the date for the community block party, which is going to be September 6th at Discovery Park. It's a great opportunity to bring your kids, bring your families, come on out to the Discovery Center. You'll see that there's a variety of information there that you can go around with your kiddos and check out all the different activities and fun things, crafts and things like that they have for you to do. Hy-Vee always is so generous and brings hot dogs and chips and feeds everybody who comes, so at no cost. So bring out the kids and have a really good time at the community block party on September 6th. And our electricity came back on to welcome our new guest, Michelle Kelman, and she is with the Alzheimer's Association, and we're going to talk about our next event. Before we get started, Chad, is there anything we need to know or do different now that we have power, or should we just keep on trucking? All right, we'll do that. So, Michelle, the Walk to End Alzheimer's is going to be August 10th, right?
Yes.
So it's going to be in a different location this year, though, right?
It will be, and it'll be at the Pearl City Station, right on the beautiful riverfront.
What time does it start then?
Check-in starts from 8 to 9.
All right.
We'll have a ceremony about 9:30, and we'll commence the walk about a half hour later.
So the ceremony is at about a half an hour then?
Yes, about 20 minutes.
Okay. And what does that consist of? Is that like celebrating survivors? What's the ceremony about?
So the ceremony includes welcoming everyone and making sure that people understand what we're there for, which is all of us together fighting this disease alongside each other.
Yeah.
Celebrating those people that have gone on before us and remembering them. And then also supporting and being a network of local neighbors and friends and families for people who are going through this.
The people that are like surviving it day to day.
Their journey every day.
Sure.
And we have a beautiful Promise Garden ceremony which represents every type of individual that's been impacted, from someone who has the disease, to a caregiver, to individuals that are supporting the cause, or someone who's lost someone as well.
Oh, sure.
So that Promise Garden ceremony is very, very poignant, very, very special.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
a terrific part that you won't want to miss.
Yes, yes. And I think it's so important to recognize, and I know you do with this, the caregivers.
Absolutely.
You know, and really celebrating them and giving them that opportunity to network with each other.
Right, because so many of them feel that they are all alone.
Yes.
And it lets them know that they are not, and that there's others just like them in our community.
That's
right. Really want to come alongside and help and be.
And it is so moving and so important that we celebrate all of the work that's going towards ending Alzheimer's, you know, with these kinds of fundraisers, but also remembering the people that are currently, that have either been lost or are going through it. And how long of a walk is it going to be?
It's about 2 miles, just down the beautiful riverfront. It's a great path, so no one will have to worry about where we're going to be and can enjoy their morning.
It's not a race or anything like that. It's just
no, not at all.
Walking together.
Yes.
And if you can't walk, you can just stay there.
Absolutely.
I remember one of the years when we were doing a bunch of activities, we were doing some while the people were walking, and there were several different people who chose not to walk for whatever reason, and that was fine.
Absolutely.
They were fine to just stay there and hang.
Right.
So is there going to be booths or tables or information there that people can get?
Yes, there will be. Alzheimer's Association information, information about our local services, about research, about clinical trials, lots of things that'll be available. Also advocacy information, and then there will also be information from local vendors and also some
Oh.
children's activities that you won't want to miss.
Oh, fun.
Yes.
So, Alzheimer's Association, they have a presence here in Muscatine?
Yes, we do.
So how does that work? Is there like an office or is it a regional thing? How does it work?
So it's a regional thing. I have a co-partner, Megan Peterson,
Uh-huh.
who handles the programs and services information.
Okay.
And then we travel frequently throughout Southeast Iowa, and I work with the walks and the development part.
Oh, so you have all of Southeast Iowa?
Yes,
So you gotta make sure that the walks aren't all on the same day, right?
absolutely.
So how many different walks will you have this spring or this fall?
I have 3 different walks,
3, okay.
and then our longest day event.
Uh-huh, and where's that one going to be?
The longest day event is kind of a do-it-yourself event, which is a great event that you can do any type of activity or something that's very special to you in honor of someone. And it focuses on the summer solstice, which is in June,
The longest day?
the longest day.
Okay.
Because
Is it-
people who
Is
have-
it June 21?
It was June 21, next year it'll be June 20th.
Oh, it
2020.
changes. Okay,
So
oh,
pretty easy to remember.
sure. So any group can do something on the longest day?
Anything. And they can do it throughout the year if that day doesn't particularly work for them.
Sure.
So say Saturday, they're not in the office and they want to do something during the week at work, they can do it whenever it works.
Oh, that's
November,
great.
March, whatever
That's
works for
great.
them.
So I know Alzheimer's is something that people have been experiencing forever. Is there hope? Is the research working? Is someday, I mean, are they finding things that they're learning that could eventually make this not be the evil thing that it really is?
That's really our goal. Our mission is to have a world without Alzheimer's with the
Yes.
Alzheimer's Association. And I think everyone shares that mission.
Sure.
We just recently had our Alzheimer's Association International Conference in California, and there was terrific research that's coming out
Oh,
about
that's
that.
great.
So people can go to our website and learn more about that, whether it was biomarkers or nutrition and lifestyle issues or clinical trials of medications. There's lots of information
that's
for them to
great.
learn more about.
I think that is so helpful and hopeful for the families to see that, you know, we are making some progress and there is hope around the corner, but we've got to continue with these kind of fundraising efforts
Absolutely.
and awareness programs to raise the funding levels to keep the research and development going so that we can end Alzheimer's.
That's right. And the funds that are raised with the Walk to End Alzheimer's go to support local services for people who are impacted, and then also that research, that vital research, because
Yes.
without it,
So we don't have to worry that the money raised from this walk is going to go off somewhere, you know, to administration or anything like that. A lot of that funds are gonna stay right here to support the families in Muscatine.
yes, and you can actually go to our website and you can learn about the Walk to End Alzheimer's and where your money goes.
Oh,
There's
that's
actually a
great.
link right there that you can see exactly how it's distributed and how to be utilized to help people.
I think that's so comforting to people to know,
It is.
you know, that the funds raised are gonna help our own neighbors
Absolutely.
right here in our community. And it sure makes you wanna open up your purse or your wallet a little more freely when you know it's gonna help your neighbor.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes all the difference because Alzheimer's
really
just
does.
doesn't affect one person.
No.
It affects families, it affects neighborhoods, it affects communities.
It does, and it, you know, and it's, even if you know somebody as a friend who's got a relative with Alzheimer's, you can see the stress and the toll that it puts on them and their whole big family.
And there's many things you can do to support that caregiver and be of assistance to them. And some of that information would be available to Walk Day as well that you can pick up. And maybe you know of a neighbor or a family member that could use some assistance, and there's some tips and information that we can share with you. You can also call our 800 number at any time at 1-800-272-3900. There's someone to talk with 24/7, even on holidays.
Really?
Yes. So there's
that's wonderful.
a lot of supports that we're able to provide.
Because it can be stressful, and you know, I do some programs at the Y, my day job, and some of them we certainly work towards child abuse. And oftentimes, I mean, I see it being very similar paths because someone certainly doesn't want to hurt a child, or like shaken baby syndrome. They certainly don't want to be unkind to a person with Alzheimer's who keeps doing stuff wrong because they can't. But when that caregiver is stressed beyond imagination, they may lash out in an unkind way to a child or a sick person, someone with Alzheimer's, because of the stress level that they're under. And we want to help them not get to that point.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure they must feel so burdened to get to a point where they could lash out because of stress. And it's programs like this that can help relieve their stress levels so that everybody can do better, and feel more comfortable. Because it must be, I have not had to experience being a caregiver for someone with Alzheimer's, but I can only imagine the stress that they must live with constantly, and happen to be, the word high maintenance comes to mind of, if you're taking care of a small child, you'd have to be on your game.
Right.
24 hours a day.
Right.
And so all the different programs that can be made available to help take care of the caregivers as well as help heal this month. So at 7 p.m. on Thursday night, everyone's welcome to attend. And please note that next week our city guests are going to be Amy Hessel. She's going to give us some save the date information on the casino night for the YMCA. And also Lieutenant Greg Bach with the Salvation Army. As you know, Christian and Brooke Lopez, they were relocated to Kansas. Most Salvation Army groups, that like the captains or the lieutenants, the couples, they only stay about 4 to 5 years. And so Brooke and Christian moved on, and now we have Greg and his wife here. And if you haven't met them yet, amazing couple, just full of energy, and I think we're just going to love having them be a part of our city, and you'll have a great opportunity to meet them here next Tuesday night. So we thank you for joining us tonight. We apologize for some of our issues. We had to start late because we had to fill everything with batteries, and luckily the electricity turned back on, and hopefully you were able to hear and see us. But big thanks to our guests, Lynn and Michelle, and for bearing with us, and please join us again here next week on Our City.
Our City with Mayor Diana Broderson replays on MPW Wednesday at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. and Thursday at 7 a.m. Of course, we're live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. on Facebook. Email us at ourcity@muscatineiowa.gov.